So I felt really bad that I was like yelling in front of their kid because I mean, she was a little baby. She's so cute. That's like a whole separate issue. I haven't even gotten into it, you guys, yet, but like it breaks my heart that I don't even know this kid. It's heartbreaking. When you're a little girl, you always picture the day that, you and your siblings have kids and that they're going to play together and just like me and my brother did. And it's like, it's heartbreaking to know that this little, beautiful little girl exists and I don't know her. So I'm like, I call the cops up. I'm like, I'm going to go wait outside for the cops. I'm standing outside of my mom's front lawn. All of a sudden, Satan comes out of the house with the baby. No jacket. She's in this short sleeve shirt, this sleeveless blouse. And she's like, you better move your car. I'm getting out of here. I turn to look at her. I go, I'm not going anywhere. I'm like, you called the cops? You're going to wait here until the cops get here. If you wanted the cops to come, you thought you were slick calling the cops, you're going to stay here until the cops get here. Where the you going? Like, she legit called the cops. I heard her on the phone. You're staying here. You ain't going nowhere. Like, I can't tell you guys how badly my blood was boiling. She puts the baby in the car. Mind you guys, it's December. They don't even start the car up for the baby. She closes the baby in the car in the pitch black darkness and goes back into the house. I'm asking my brother all these questions now because I'm like, well, I have you here. I might as well ask you some questions. I'm like, hey, Steven, why'd you go to the court and lie and say mommy had no will? I'm like, when did you turn into such a liar? All of a sudden, right, he comes out. He goes, you destroyed the will. That's what he says to me. And I go, are you kidding me? I go, where's your integrity? Who are you even anymore? I'm like, what the are you talking about? I stole the will. And I'm like, where were you guys when mommy was alive? I'm like, you're a money hungry piece of shit. You really are. That's all you care about. I'm like, are you even upset that mommy died? Like, what's wrong with you? I've asked my brother this question so many times and he never answers it. Where were you when she was sick? That's all I want to know. Where were you? Why didn't you care then? Why weren't you at her house then? I think I said this before, but they were at her house more in November when she was in the hospital and December than they were in the last 3 years combined. Like probably 3 times as much. We're screaming at each other. It's getting really heated. I go, why'd you lie and go to a lawyer and tell a lawyer that mommy had no will? My brother turns around and goes, you destroyed the will. Kidding me? I'm like, where are you getting this from? Who's telling you this? At this point in time, I think he knew or had just found out that I filed my mom's will. I don't know if my aunts told him or if he got the citation. I forgot. No, he probably didn't get the citation yet. I think my aunts probably told him. I go, oh yeah, I had the will. I said, I filed. I said, I'll send you a picture. He goes, you forged that document. He was accusing me of forging that letter that the attorney sent with the wills. And I'm like thinking like, why would I forge that? Like if I was going to go and forge that, why wouldn't I just like forge the whole will and leave all the money to myself and make myself the executor? Like, it doesn't even make any sense. So I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm like, you think I would do something like that? I have the envelope at home. You want me to send you a picture of the envelope with my address on it and blah, 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 right? Going back in the house now at this point, and I'm following them. They're trying to lock me out of the house. So I'm like pushing the door open, and they get back in the house, and I'm in the kitchen. I'm like, which one of you guys took the pills, huh? No answer. They were like just standing there. And it's so funny because you would think if somebody accused you of that and you didn't do it, you would be like, what are you talking about, Leanna? Or you're crazy. There was no answer. So they're like in and out of the house. I don't even remember. You know when like a situation's so elevated and escalated like that? So I go back outside now, okay? They come back out. They're like, move your car and this and that. And I'm like, I'm not moving my car. So we're now at this point in time, the screaming's all going on outside. And my mom's neighbors start coming out. Tara's husband coming out. I see Jeannie coming out. And I'm like, oh my God. We're on my mom's front porch now. And we're screaming at each other. My brother put his fist up to me like this. Like he was going to hit me. And I have a witness. My neighbor Jeannie saw this, okay? He's holding his fist up to me. And I get right up in his face. And I'm like, go ahead, mother. Hit me. What's he going to do? I'm like, go ahead. We're like this close to each other's faces, screaming at each other. And I'm going, go ahead, mother. Hit me. I'm like spitting in his face. And I'm like, go ahead, you piece of shit. Go ahead, hit me. All of a sudden, Satan goes, don't hit her. That's what she came here for. What? Wait. What can I do today? Oh yeah, I'm going to go to my mom's house so my brother could punch me. Her saying something like that really goes to show how up her brain is, because who would even think like that? I would never scheme somebody like that to go over there and purposely get my brother to hit me. That's why I came here, Satan. You got me. Ugh, she's so annoying. I wish I could have punched her in the face. So now we're screaming and it's all getting escalated, right? And she's like yelling at me. She's like, I'm gonna get you locked up. I'm gonna, like, her face is like right near me. And I'm like, oh, you're too close to come back. She's going, I'm gonna get you locked up. You're gonna go to jail. You're gonna go to jail. Yeah, you locked up for a long time. And I'm thinking, like, for what? You're gonna get me locked up for, Satan? Are you the sheriff's daughter or something? What are you gonna do? We're standing right in front of the front door. My brother's got his fist up. I'm standing there, and all of a sudden, like a squirrel monkey, Satan decides to like launch out of the door and like launch her body in between us. Listen, dude, if I have to fight you and get scrappy, I will. But I have cat-like reflexes. I can't help it. It's just the way I was born. I just see this body coming flying towards me, and my natural instinct was to like block myself. Like, oh, I remember exactly what I was wearing. I had a coat on, I had fingerless gloves on, like I always do, and I had my keys in my hand from my car. So she comes like flying out of the front door. I don't even know why she did this. Natural instinct was to go like that, to like block myself. So I end up like pushing her with force, okay? And she goes flying back. As soon as my hand made contact with her skin, because remember, she's in a sleeveless shirt in the middle of December. Why? I don't know. She starts going like this. She scratched me. She hit me. I'm not even kidding with you guys. She's sitting there scratching her body, putting scratches on herself with her arm, like repeatedly going like this. I can't believe what I'm seeing now. This all like happened in slow motion. I swear to God. Like, it was like the Matrix. I'm like, and I'm like, dude, I had read so much about narcissists at this point in time, and this is a thing that they will do. You know, they'll make false allegations against you, false abuse allegations, false restraining orders, and all this other crazy, right? I couldn't believe what I was watching. So now at this point, Mom's neighbors are outside. Jeannie's standing outside. Kara's husband's standing outside. Kara wasn't home. And I'm like embarrassed. I really am. They go back in the house, and I'm just like, all right, let me just catch my breath and collect myself, okay? So I'm outside. Nobody's watching this kid. This kid's just sitting in a freezing cold car in the pitch black dark. And these two ass and like do-do-do. Like, I'm thinking, why wouldn't you start the car up? I mean, I don't know. So I was like, well, somebody's gonna have to stand out here with their kid. I'm not gonna leave this kid outside by herself, right? So I'm outside. They're in the house. All of a sudden, my husband starts calling me, okay? So I answer the phone, and I'm telling them what happened. I'm like, Chris, they're crazy, they're psychotic, and I'm telling them the whole story. And I can see they're standing in my mom's living room. They're like 20 feet away from me, just on the other side of the glass. And my brother's face, I swear to God, I wish I had a picture of it. He's just like standing there like this blank look on his face, like he knows this has gone too far. And she's on her phone. I see her like frantically dialing, putting the phone up to her ear, frantically dialing, putting the phone up to the ear. And then finally I see her on the phone with somebody, and I'm thinking, who could she possibly be calling? She already called the cops. Who is she on the phone with? Well, I come to find out later from valid sources, that same night, my grandmother has this party every year at her apartment complex. It's like a Christmas party. So I come to find out that Satan was calling my Aunt Debbie. And her and my Aunt Betty are like dancing, you know, because they have to put the show on. Oh, Carol just died. Let's dance at the party. So inappropriate. Aunt Debbie gets a phone call and goes off into the bathroom with Aunt Debbie. And it was Satan calling my Aunt Debbie. Wow. Since when did you guys get so close? But I didn't find that out until after. So, you know, in my head that night, I'm like, who the f- girl talking to, right? So I'm on the phone with my husband. I'm telling him what happened. And all of a sudden, my brother comes walking out of the house, and she comes walking out of the house, and I'm like giving my husband the play-by-play. I'm like, here they come. They're walking out of the house. Oh, what are you taking? You got a box? What are you doing? This is weird. This is crazy. I'm like, yeah, right. Let me get a picture of their license plate. My brother said something so stupid to me. He's like, oh, I'm so scared, Liana. I'm like, yeah, I'm just standing here. I'm waiting for the cops to get here. She called the cops, so I'm going to wait for the cops to get here. And they're walking by, right? I see Satan get in the car. So I'm like, oh, she's getting in the car now. I guess they're going to wait in the car. And I'm like, here comes my brother. Oh, look at him getting in the car. Yeah, you better get in the car. And then all of a sudden, I'm standing in my mom's driveway. And I'm like, they're getting in the car. And she's starting the car. What the f- Bitch doing? Where are you going? She's putting the car in reverse. She's backing up. Chris, she's gonna hit my car. This crazy bitch. Where the is she going? This bitch puts the car in reverse, okay? And backs up inches away from my car. Puts the car in drive. Turns this way. Drives over the Belgium block and across my mom's front lawn. Takes off and leaves. Dude, this bitch just drove away. Now the neighbors are outside. Jeannie's like, Kara's husband's just standing there like, all of a sudden I hear Jeannie, what the was that? And I'm like, I couldn't even talk. This bitch just drove across my mom's front lawn. What? What? Who does that? We're like all just standing there like stunned. And my husband was on his way to the house because he's like, I don't need you going to jail tonight. Thanks. I cannot believe this girl drove across my mom's front lawn. My mind is just blown at this point in time. Like, where the are you going? Okay. Thank God there was snow on the ground because I was able to capture a picture for you guys. So now me, Jeannie, and Nick are like standing in the street and they're just like, what the was that? And Jeannie's like, dude, I thought Steven was gonna hit you. So she saw it. She's like, oh my God, what the hell's wrong with him? He had his fist up like this. I thought he was gonna kill you. I'm like, dude, he's psychotic. They just drove away. As we're standing there talking, cops finally get there. And we're just like still in shock. We're just like, the cop's like, what's going on? And I just turn around and I point to the lawn and the tire tracks in the lawn. And I'm like, well, that. And he's like, what the hell happened? I'm like, oh, my brother's wife just drove across my mom's front lawn. Nothing big, Same old, same old. Why would you call the cops and then leave? So I'm standing there talking to the cop and I'm all heated. I'm still like my adrenaline, my heart's still pumping and whatnot and everything like that, right? I'm telling the cop, I'm like, listen, my mom just passed away. I'm like, she hasn't even been gone a full month yet. And these motherfuckers are already here looting the house. And then we're not really supposed to be there. Blah, 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 right? As I'm talking to the cop, my mom lives like, all right, okay, it's her house, then our neighbor, and then there's another house, and then there's like a cross street, and there's a 7-Eleven across that street, okay? All of a sudden, I hear, I look up, my brother's wife is driving on the cross street, coming from like behind my mom's house, which I was like, why were you even down that way? And she throws the car into reverse, and she spins the tires out coming back down the street. If being a scam artist or insurance saleswoman doesn't work out, she could be like a Dukes of Hazzard extra because seriously, this girl drives like crazy. I've never seen a woman drive the way this bitch drives, okay? I'm like, and now you're coming back? You just left. You just ran off. Now you're coming back? I've never seen anything like this. Her and my brother get out of the car. Hi, officer. Oh, like calm, cool, and collected. We weren't here. We just left. She starts sweet talking the cop. I'm just standing there in like complete shock. I cannot believe this girl has the ability to go from being like crazy psychotic like that to just like, hi, how is everything? I'm like heated, and it was probably very obvious to the cop. I was pissed off. They start telling their side of the story. Oh, we were here, and I'm just taking stuff that's mine. And the cop was kind of being a dick, not for nothing, but he's like, do you really care if he takes his stuff? I said, but how do I know he has his stuff? I said, he has taped boxes. I don't know if it's his stuff or not his stuff. At some point in time, Satan goes, you can check my car. There's no boxes in there. I'll show you. There's no boxes in there. Sure enough, she opens up the back of the car and there's no boxes. And I watched these people put boxes in the car. So I don't know if they drove and stashed these boxes somewhere or what. I don't know. It's insanity. So my brother's like, I was getting my stuff out of the attic. I have all my Star Wars memorabilia and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, ugh. So I said to the cop, he's like, do you really care if he takes his stuff out of the attic? And I said, yeah, I don't care if he takes his stuff. No, I have no problem with that. I said, but how do I know he's taking his stuff? I'm like, he just packed boxes up. I don't know if it's his stuff. I could walk in the house and be like, oh yeah, this TV's mine. I just left it here. Oh, this $1,000 ring is mine because I just left it here. How do I know that he's taking his stuff? My brother's like, well, can I go back inside? And the guy's like, I wouldn't remove anything from the residence. My brother's like, well, I just want to throw the garbage out. So I'm like, all right, the situation's diffused. The cop doesn't really seem to give it that my brother's looting the house. So he's like, go inside, get the garbage, and lock the house out and just leave. So I'm like standing out there waiting, and all of a sudden Satan comes out. She scratched me. I'm going down to the precinct. I'm going to press charges against her. And she's showing her arm, and I'm looking at her arm, and there's like nothing there. And I'm like, bitch, it's called freckles, you little troll. I don't know. She says something. All of a sudden the cop turns to her, and he goes, I see what you're trying to do. He's like, that shit ain't gonna fly here. Go sit in your car. She's like, she walks away, and she's like, she needs to be medicated. And I turn around, I go, oh, like the medication you stole from my mom? What kind of medication? The one you stole from my mom or what? What are you talking about? And she's like, I don't even know what she's talking about. There was one point in the night where she said something to me, and I'm like, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. I did that to her. I did the to her. Because I'm such an asshole. I really am. Not gonna lie to you guys. Like, when I get angry, I turn into an asshole. There's no question. She gets back in the car now at this point, and everything's diffused. My brother's bringing the garbage bags out. I don't know what was in those garbage bags. Never found out. I threw away most of the food, so I don't know what ended up happening, right? I asked the officer, I'm like, can I just leave? I just want to get out of here. So he's like, yeah. So I go pull down the street, and I'm sitting in the 7-Eleven parking lot, because I'm like, as soon as those get out of here, I'm going back to the house because I want to see what they took. I'm sitting in the 7-Eleven, I'm watching down the street, and I see another car pull up, and I'm like, oh, that's probably my husband. So I'm like, let me go back down there. My husband gets out, he's got my son with him, and he's like, what's going on? Now, I didn't get back to the house yet at this point because I was getting in my car. My husband ends up telling me this. When he got out of the car, Satan gets out of the car, look what your wife did to me. I'm going to press charges against her. Blah, blah, blah. My husband goes, Satan, just stop. You're going to go press charges against my wife? She could press charges on you for trespassing. And then, of course, my brother's outside by this point. He's like, that's my wife. That's my wife. That's like all he says. He's like one of those little dolls that you pull the string. Like, that's like his only answer to things. And the cop goes to my brother's wife. He's like, you should listen to your brother-in-law. He has a point here. He sure did. This bitch is trespassing, and you call the cops on me. I didn't give you permission to be on my mom's property. So my husband's just talking to the cop and blah, 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 blah. They're talking about the will or something, and he said something about that he tried to reach out to the lawyer, which I found out from the lawyer. My brother reached out to the lawyer that had the will after I filed it to validate that I actually got the will from him. Dude, the will was valid, bro. You could see it had all signatures and notary stamps and everything on it. He's telling my husband, oh yeah, we reached out and blah, blah, blah. And so all of a sudden Satan goes, don't talk to him. Don't tell him what's going on. Let's just get in the car. And they fucking get in the car and take off. And that was it. So from that point on now, I felt like I couldn't even go to my mom's house. It was just such a disaster, dude. This whole thing could have went so much different. I wouldn't have had a problem. My brother's entitled to half of everything in the house. But it's just don't tell me I can't take from the house and then you go and take. That's not fair. I'm sorry. It doesn't work like that. Took a couple of months, but I found out there was a lot of shady shit going on. I'm going to end this one and I'll come back in the next.